Welcome to the SharkPreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Green. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Green is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Welcome to the SharkPreneur podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Green. With me, as always, is the inventor of the infomercial and the original shark on the hit TV series Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington. Kevin, thanks so much for being here.
Great to be here. Looking forward to a fun show today, Seth. Thank you.
Yes, we have a fascinating guest, Athens Ramseyer, who is the founder of the Sciential agency, a neuromarketing agency staffing psychologists and neuroscientists with doctorates and PhDs.
Hi, my name's Athens. He's doing big media buying, right? So there's a lot of that's been a lot of the new granular activity that ended up being on the 8,500 fastest growing company.
Work with 𝗧𝗔𝗡𝗏 on the Real Estate Wealth Expo. Athens, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. From the last ending of that, I'm on a shark hunt, if you will, and Kevin's one of the last remaining ones. So it's really nice to be able to meet you guys and be on board. And I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak today.
Awesome. How did your agency get started?
So the agency got started actually after I co-founded 2 businesses. One was a wellness center. I got my bachelor's in psychology, and I was actually doing mental and physical wellness in that degree. And then I realized the psychology kind of blended over into the way you would reach out to your client. So when you have a client or when you're a psychologist, you begin with the diagnosis, the prognosis, right? And so again, a lot of the ways when you're reaching out in marketing, that's what you begin with as well too, your pain points, and then you work out your solution from there, right? So again, that worked really well. And then the second, that was a wellness center, 𝗕𝗘𝗏𝗏, that we sold for a profit in Spokane, Washington. And then the second business was trade and tech, which ended up getting placed on the Inc. 500 fast growing companies. That year alone, we grossed over almost $9 million. And then from there, I started reaching out to other industries, and Real Estate Wealth Expo was the big celebrity buzz type of a lot of clientele. And from there, it just started snowballing because I was in Hollywood. Now we're doing celebrity endorsements. We even have the power of using Draymond for that, and Mr. Wonderful as well too, just to keep name dropping the sharks. But again, it's nice to be able to be aligned with that kind of momentum in that area. And so that's from there on, we've just kind of been building it up from there.
Very good. What did you do with the Mr. Wonderful? Tell me.
So what Mr. Wonderful, we can do celebrity endorsement power. So what we do for that is we create advertising using the biases from the success rate of those areas. So we have the opportunity to align celebrities with the brands that we work with. So we worked with Ellen DeGeneres with 𝗦𝗖𝗜𝗘𝗡𝗦, her faux fur brand, Doc Block, which is the Kardashian plastic surgeons. We use the Kardashians in those areas. So that's what we do as well too. I have another PR company division, Hollywood Celebrity PR, where we align celebrity endorsement power with our advertising. So that's a huge benefit. Obviously, being in Hollywood, I wouldn't be able to do it anywhere else. And without having the success we've amassed in those areas, I think the neuroscientific edge gives us that ability to where, the people that are successful in those areas recognize that and they see that. And so I think that's what the alignment there is where it comes from.
So who is an ideal client for the agency?
An ideal client right now. So for me, I tried not to niche down because again, I think it keeps you on edge. It gives you're not always just going to be with the successful, making them more successful. You'll start in the nitty gritty, keeps me on my toes. But right now we're really focusing on neuroscientific business models. So we have a business where we basically are doing motion traffic tracking software, where we'll be able to create a blueprint of trying to do AI development of saying what words in the right way to create a blueprint of in a webinar to do a sales pitch, to seeing their emotions tracking or dipping attention, so forth. Another neuroscientific business model we're working with as well too is COVID Check Today, where we're in Zappy Health, where we're creating an Uber-like health services to go directly to your door and cut out that hospital facility extra expense that goes on there. And to help as well too, incorporating EEG scans with the prognosis or the diagnosis issue, because right now when a doctor goes to diagnosis you, it's accessible is about 30%. And I don't know if you guys have seen this. If people are running Facebook ads, they're able to fill out a form and then they're able to get prescription drugs delivered to their doors. So it's kind of a sick industry right now. And I'm really trying to focus on that. That's the ideal client for me. We're ideal for most people, but again, I'm trying to focus on ones that will actually try to make a difference in the health and medical field right now. I just think it's more impactful. And once Kevin, I'm sure you can relate. And once you've kind of mastered that success, it makes more sense to kind of align with things that are more purpose-driven work than just the financial success rate of things, right?
Sure.
So yeah.
What's one of your biggest projects right now, and where do you see the next steps from here? But let me hear about some of your bigger things happening.
Yeah, so bigger things, if you're talking numbers, I think when we originally reached out to you, I was actually presenting one of my 8-figure clients, one of the home decor brands that we run for, Decor Steals. It's great what we do is because we actually mandate that every client that we have, that they align with a charity. And so we're the only agency, I believe, still to this day that does that. Because again, if you look at their site, if you go run them through Google traffic analytics or anything like that, we're sending millions of visitors, 1.7 million, I think, this last month, every single month, right? So that's a lot of eyes and attentions to those charities. I think the next big model is that we're going to try to incorporate is help co-found and create charities that are alignment with those. Not in the effect to where they have a hand in the pot in those areas, but again, giving our clients a sense of more integral parts of being more purpose-driven in their work. I think that's what's really missing in the industry right now is people actually caring more beyond the financial aspect of it. And so we want to try to create that kind of environment and really implement that, but not only by guiding them, but also having a streamlined setup for them to be able to utilize.
So for the Real Estate Wealth Expo, what did you do for them? Did you help sell tickets? Did you fill seats?
Yeah, seats or butts and seats, right? So we did video advertising. If you go onto our YouTube channel, you'll see actually the highlight cuts. You'll see Sylvester Stallone, you'll see Tony Robbins, you'll see Gary Vaynerchuk, you'll see the Sharks. We're slicing those up. Again, what we're doing is we're helping attach the celebrities to those brands. Again, that was the first integral part. I worked with Sam on that one directly, and she was phenomenal. She actually put me on a couple other projects beyond that. I think once the buzz gets going in those areas, but that's what we're doing is we're doing the video advertising in what order you're directing them in. So the structure of that, the overall fractional CMO is what the part I create and I implement is I create the directive. So I'm not actually the one carrying out every single individual task, but in order to be a fractional CMO, you had to have done that at one day. And that's what I did with those 2 first businesses that I co-founded and was able to amass. Now we staff over close to 50 different contractors and freelancers to be able to fulfill these areas at rapid rates or scale back or, move them around in pivotal moments of, especially with inflation happening and different areas where you never know what's going to happen. You need a team that can scale or descale at rapid moments and focus on that budget. So that's what I help and do with my clients is I'm like a CFO, CMO in those areas.
You talked about measuring people's emotions as they watch a webinar or a sales pitch. Is that like a focus group where you're putting 50 people in a room and attaching sensors to their heads? How does that work?
So that's actually meant for a webinar software. We do have EEG scans where we do have a census where we're running clinical research trials and we're actually doing those temporal pads that you see that looks a little crazy. The emotion tracking software, obviously, that's not something we're just doing out, illegally to where anyone could go in there. No, we started off doing it with the combination of the EEG and the vision. So we're watching eye movement. We're watching dips of the cheek structure movements as well too. If they're being engaged, their eyes dilating, even where they're focusing on the direction as well. And then if they're moving or they lose attention. So that's more visual. So it's not as thorough and as the sound as the EEG, but it's something we can apply and make accessible for other people who are trying to understand how biases and heuristics play a part of framing the seller's or the buyer's journey and getting that bias implemented for your business. And in your services as well too. So there's an ethical way that you need to go about it, obviously too.
I was going to ask how you got access to their webcam to watch that.
Oh yeah, so if they do, and sorry if I overspoke right there, but if we do, they have to sign that. It's a full, like they have to sign it. It's not like, oh, just click this box where we had it hidden half the way. So yeah, that in the first few consensus, they would go through that. And again, they're agreeing towards that. And then if you were going to be running a webinar yourself or a sales webinar, you would have to obviously announce that as well too to your clients. Again, I think it's better to help, and people should be more trusting in the tracking. I think we've seen so much dives and hurt in the market right now because we're taking so much tracking away. We're seeing mass shootings happen and stuff like this. And I know that's an extreme polar opposite of it. But again, I don't think the tracking is as negative as people try to make it to be, as long as it's being ethically done, obviously. But, you know, yeah. So again, it's a hit or miss, and it's a double-edged sword, if you will.
Yep. Hey, putting butts in seats is always a very powerful service. Is this something that you're going to continue to be able to provide?
Yeah, so I think that's always a focus. Again, like we said, we're trying to go towards the medical field, but again, I think the KPIs that we're after is, at the end of the day, it's sales, right? So again, I can talk about charities, I can talk about the purpose-driven work of the frontier of the medical field, but again, at the end of the day, if I'm not making that client sales, they're not going to want to keep paying me. So that's always the first focus. We have to make a revenue generating process, and then I get to those areas. So those are almost delicacies, if you will. But again, at the end of the day, butts and seats, that gets people happy. And again, I know that, and I have to understand that, and everyone has to understand that. And I think that's not negative in any sense. Capitalism wasn't invented by anyone. It was created by free people and free market, just trading and exchange of services. And if I'm not creating that value there, then there's not going to be continued value going to be offered or paid for. So yeah.
Nice.
Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
Oh man, so it's really fun. I think what's my main goal by moving to Hollywood was one day creating movies. And so now we're using the psychologists and the neuroscientists to create characters based off real actual situations of clinical research of actual psychopathic tendencies, or, you know, the depression episodes that they go through and so forth like that. So we're creating through those depression biomarkers we're able to do through the EEG scans, we're actually creating models of actually character development in those areas too. I think that's what's really exciting is one, we're being able to see the actual responses from others, but also we're actually be able to create these, not only so buyer personas is what I've been perfecting, right, for the client, but now I'm actually going to be able to create characters in the movie industry, which is really awesome. And I think no one else is really validating it to the degree that we are with that research. So I think it'll be something that'll be really disruptive in the industry, hopefully.
Well, you're up to some fascinating stuff. For our folks watching and listening who want to learn more, where is the best place for us to send them?
Sciential.agency, and that is SCIENTIAL, because I know some people have difficulty there. And then if you want celebrity endorsements, like we talked about, the podcast features, even some verification that you need to be going, HollywoodCelebrityPR.com. Both of those sites are our top ones right now.
Hey, great seeing you. Great hanging out with you. If you can use another shark in your services, keep me in mind. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Let's follow up here, because I would love to get you paid if you just want to do a quick little video for some of my clients and stuff like that. I mean, Mr. Wonderful is into it. Again, it's good money for you, and it's easy work for a simple little video. So yeah, I would love to be able to run that by you. Thank you so much.
Hey, Seth, connect us. Okay, buddy.
I will do so. Thank you, everybody, for
Thank you,
watching and
guys.
listening. We will talk to you next time.
Take care.
All right. Thank you. Bye, guys.